You think you're being a good guy, always there, always replying fast, always ready to make time for her. But over time, she pulls away. She texts less. Her interest fades. And you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? Here's the truth. Being overly available doesn't build attraction. It kills it. Not because kindness is bad, but because access without value feels cheap. This isn't about playing games or being distant. It's about understanding how female desire actually works. Let's break down why your constant availability makes you forgettable and how to reverse it, starting now. Most men become overly available out of fear, not confidence. They fear losing her, fear making her wait, fear missing the perfect moment. So they reply instantly, cancel plans for her, stay up late just in case she texts. But that fear doesn't feel like love. It feels like pressure. And pressure kills polarity. When you're always ready, always on call, always reshaping your life around her, you stop being a mystery. You stop being a man. You become convenience. And no one desires what's always there. They tolerate it, then eventually ignore it. Attraction isn't fueled by constant presence. It's fueled by meaningful tension. And that tension dies when your attention is always guaranteed. Here's what most guys don't realize. Your time is your frame. When you give it away too easily, you lose the very thing that creates attraction, perceived value. If she knows you'll always pick up, always say yes, always make time even when you shouldn't, then your presence stops being special. It becomes default. Attraction needs contrast. She needs to feel the difference between your presence and your absence. But if you're always around, she never gets the chance to miss you. And when she doesn't miss you, she doesn't desire you. It's not about withholding. It's about self-respect. Let's be honest. Most men who are always available aren't doing it from strength. They're doing it from lack. Lack of purpose, lack of standards, lack of self-worth. They overgive, overtext, overcommit, hoping that consistency will buy them affection. But women don't fall for effort. They fall for energy. When you give too much too soon, it doesn't feel generous. It feels desperate. It says, I don't value my own time, so yours must be more important. And that imbalance creates emotional fatigue. She may say she wants someone who's always there, but when she feels that energy, her attraction starts to fade, because she doesn't want a man who centers his world around her. She wants a man who already has a world and invites her into it selectively. Here's what you need to understand about female psychology. Women don't consciously think, he's too available, so I'm losing interest. They just feel it. It's subtle, a quiet shift, a lack of spark. Because when you're always there, there's no anticipation, no curiosity, no polarity. Desire is fueled by uncertainty, not chaos, but possibility. When she knows what you're doing every minute, when your time always bends for hers, when you never challenge her rhythm, her instincts don't feel drawn in. They feel safe, but not in the way that triggers desire. And that's the danger. You become predictable, and predictable is forgettable. High-value men don't make themselves constantly available, not because they're playing hard to get, but because they're already engaged with something bigger. Purpose, discipline, boundaries. Their time is structured. Their attention is earned. Their life doesn't pause because someone texts them. Compare that to the man who's always available. His time is open. His focus is scattered. His boundaries are soft. She might appreciate him, but she doesn't feel him. Because true attraction isn't built through access. It's built through intention. The man who chooses when and how to give his time on his terms is the one she remembers. Not the one who was always free, but the one whose attention actually meant something. Availability doesn't just show up in your calendar, it leaks into your body language. You lean in too far, nod too much, over-text, over-apologize. You adjust to her rhythm instead of setting your own, and all of it tells her one thing: you matter more than me. But the man who values himself moves differently. He doesn't rush replies. He doesn't break eye contact too quickly. He doesn't seek permission with his posture. He speaks slower, pauses longer, sits back, not out of arrogance, but out of calm self-respect. That energy makes her wonder where you've been, not why you're always around. You're not avoiding her, you're choosing yourself first. And that, more than anything, is what creates pull. Always being available usually hides something deeper: emotional dependence. You're not texting her all the time because she needs it. You're doing it because you need it. Need the response, the validation, the feeling of closeness. But when your mood depends on her reply speed, her tone, or her availability, you've already lost your center. That's when you start chasing, shrinking, folding, and she feels it. Not through what you say, but through the weight you put on the interaction. You stop being the man with options, direction, and stillness, and become the man waiting for her to decide your worth. That doesn't build attraction. That builds pressure. You want to shift the dynamic? Start by reclaiming your rhythm. Don't reply instantly. Don't cancel plans last minute. Don't check your phone every 5 minutes hoping she texted. Instead, breathe. Move slower. Let space exist. You don't have to ignore her. Just stop making her your default focus. When she messages, finish what you're doing. When she wants to meet, check if it fits your schedule. When she pulls back, don't chase, observe. Because the more you align with your own rhythm, the more magnetic your energy becomes. Not because you're playing games, but because you're not willing to lose yourself just to keep someone else. That shift changes everything. Men who are always available operate from scarcity. They think, if I don't respond fast, she'll lose interest. If I'm not always there, she'll find someone else. If I set boundaries, she'll leave. But high-value men move from abundance. They know their time is valuable. Their attention is earned. And if someone doesn't respect that, they'll walk. Because they don't fear losing someone who doesn't align. They fear betraying themselves to keep someone who never truly saw their worth. That's the energy shift. You stop trying to be everywhere for her and start being solid for yourself. She won't always say it, but she'll feel it. And that feeling is what makes you unforgettable. When you stop making yourself constantly available, something powerful happens. You start building yourself. You fill your time with purpose, not waiting. You train, you work, you create, you rest, you prioritize your standards, not just her attention. Suddenly you're not wondering when she'll text back. You're choosing when you even want to respond. And that subtle shift, it rewires how she sees you. You're no longer an option waiting to be picked. You're a man walking a path, with or without her. That's not cold. That's masculine. And nothing creates desire like a man who respects his time so deeply. He gives it rarely, but fully. You want to be more attractive? Start by becoming less accessible. Not as a tactic, as a truth. Because when you show the world, including her, that your time has weight, your energy has boundaries, and your life has direction, you stop being background noise. You become a signal. She doesn't chase because you ignored her. She chases because your presence is rare, and your absence has meaning. That's the difference between being around and being remembered. If this shift spoke to you, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next drop that builds your presence, frame, and masculine edge from the inside out. Being less available doesn't mean being distant. It means being disciplined. You're not ignoring her. You're prioritizing you. Your time isn't a gift you give to whoever asks for it. It's a resource, protected, directed, earned. That energy rewires how people treat you. They speak slower, show up sharper. Respect the frame you live by. Because you're no longer sending the signal, "I'm here if you want me." You're sending, "I'm good, with or without you." And that's the frame women lean into. Not because you're hard to reach, but because you're worth reaching. You didn't become cold. You became clear. When you stop being always available, you start being undeniable. Not because you created distance, but because you reclaimed value. Now your time carries weight, your presence has meaning, and your energy feels earned, not given away on demand. That's what shifts how women see you. Not the silence, not the delay, but the self-respect behind it. You're no longer reacting, you're choosing. And she doesn't chase the man who's absent. She chases the man who's anchored. Because in a world full of always online guys, the one who's focused, steady, and selective becomes unforgettable. What's one habit you're going to change starting today to stop being too available and start showing up with real value? Drop it in the comments. If this message hit home, don't miss top 5 mistakes men make that instantly kill attraction, and how high-value men act differently, and why women love it. They'll lock in the mindset and energy that make your time and presence impossible to ignore.